Welcome all to K-Drama School. Hello. Good to be here. Good to have you all listening. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you. How was your week? How was your week? Was your week amazing? Did you have a wonderful time this week? I had a I had a pretty okay week. It was very slow. I mean, I did have like work, like work to do, freelance work to do, like jobs and stuff, but it was pretty slow. I didn't really go out much. The only times I stepped out were to like go for walks or go food shopping. And then the other times I just stayed in. I don't think I went to a single comedy thing this week. I can't recall. And I did have a painting commission come in. It's from a friend, but I still count it. I mean, it was a lot of work. You know, what's interesting when I was working on this painting, because it's for a friend, right? And all I do is think about that friend as I'm painting. It's like, what would she want? What would make her happy? What would excite her? What's an inside joke between us? And I realized, like, painting something for a friend is such a an act of love. Like, when you think about history, like across time, like royalty, members of the royal court, they would often gift giant artistic pieces to their loved ones. Um, I don't know Louis the what number I forget, but the last king of France, the one that got beheaded with Marie Antoinette, he gifted her like this beautiful architecture, right? Like this beautiful little villa for her. It's a work of art. Like that villa is something that was designed and built by an architect and it was gifted to her, right? And so art is oftentimes given as a token of love. It's like, oh, I got you this. Like, it's usually like, quote unquote useless stuff. Like, art tends to not have function. Like, in the case of a home, it has a very definitive function. You live in it. So, I would say a house or a villa is like the best present you can give somebody. But, like, a painting, for instance, a painting doesn't really have like a definitive function other than to be looked at, other than to be admired, other than to provoke thought and feeling, to set the mood. Maybe it does have a lot of function. Now that I'm talking about it, paintings actually serve an incredibly important purpose, which is all of the things that I've just listed. But like say, I don't know, like a ring. A ring. Think about a ring. I mean, does a ring have a purpose? Does it have a function other than just looking pretty on your hand? Maybe it enhances your aesthetic appearance. So it's aesthetics, right? Sometimes a ring, if it has like a particular metal or crystal or stone that has particular energies, then it does have like another purpose and function. Okay, now that I'm talking about it, all of art does serve a very significant function. And pieces of art are given to one another as a symbol of love to show that person an appreciation. Be like, I know you and I see you because I feel like this piece of art reflects something in you that I see. And so art is always given out of love. And I think that's really wonderful because when we make art, I noticed I'm also thinking it's like coming from a place of love. When I'm writing too, like when I'm writing a letter, if I'm writing a screenplay, if I'm writing a book, I do think about like whose voice am I channeling here? Whose ears am I trying to grab hold of? Like whose attention am I looking for? And being specific about that does sharpen the voice incredibly so. It's like two energetic points, like they're meeting, they're aligning, and that's when the energy gets taut, yeah, and then the string gets nice and tight, yeah. So that's sort of what I've been experiencing this past few days as I've been working on this masterpiece of a painting. It's actually really gorgeous. I would say of all the paintings I've done in my entire life, this one is probably my best work, and I think it came to be that way because I was thinking about this friend the whole time. I am still recovering from this cold. I could still hear it in my voice. I've still been mucusy and nasally, and it really kind of sucks because it's like almost 3 weeks of this shit. Like, when are we gonna stop? Huh? When are we gonna stop having snot and phlegm? It's really silly. I don't like feeling this way. I have been eating a lot of junk food this past few days. I think that's the downside. Like, when I'm painting, I don't want to do anything. All my energy is focused on the painting, so I just eat easy food. Like, I'll grab muffins, I'll grab chocolates, I'll grab I'll grab instant stuff, or I'll like order out or order in, whatever. And it's like it's detrimental to my physical health. Yeah, why am I sick? Why am I still struggling with this cold? I don't know, you know? All I know is like I've just been listening to my body being like, oh, slow down. You have to just slow down. So, okay, fine, I'm slowing down. Because last week I wasn't that slow, actually. I was kind of, um, yeah, hitting the ground running, so to speak. I was like kind of thinking about my life up until this point and the relationships that I've had. I don't mean just like romantic relationships. I also mean friendships. I mean relationships with like, you know, former bosses, mentors, colleagues, all kinds of relationships. And sometimes I don't feel as good about myself knowing that those that not all relationships have lasted. And I keep telling myself like not all relationships are supposed to last forever, right? Like, people move away, people drift apart, people change. Their interests change, their everything about them changes. Sometimes this is something I just read about, so I don't know if it's true, but I believe the stuff that I'm reading these days. So, sometimes a soul is so sick and tired of being in the body that it leaves and then another soul comes in. It's rare, but holy shit, that does happen. Like, this body that we are in is just a simple vehicle and nothing more. And sometimes the soul gets so sick and tired of living on earth in this dense body that it just decides to check out and leave. And when that happens, like when the exchange happens, another soul does enter that body. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? And apparently, like, when it happens, the body doesn't even know. Like, the conscious mind is not even aware of it. It could have happened to you. It could have happened to me. It could have happened to any one of us. Isn't that insane? Like, that a body in a singular life may not have the whole, like, the same soul throughout. Isn't that wild? Man, my mind was blown after I heard this shit. I was like, oh my God. I want to know more. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to talk about the show Destined with You. And I'm covering this a little bit late. Not late, but just like a few weeks or months after the show had ended. And I'm doing this because when I was watching the show, when I first started, I liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought Rowoon and Choboa were really, really funny. They are. They have good chemistry, and they're both very handsome. Rowoon is a very beautiful looking man. Choboa is a very beautiful looking woman. So eye candy, aesthetically, it's really wonderful. And in the beginning, their relationship was hilarious because like Rowoon had fallen in love with Choboa's character. Rowoon's character fell in love with Choboa's character, and like it's because she cast a spell on him. Like, that's all fun. I love that. And then Rowoon's character is conflicted. It's like he's attracted to her because he can't help but be attracted, but he's also like, what the fuck? I don't want to be. So that conflict was hilarious to me. And then the show started like falling back into the typical stuff. Like, we've seen the whole past lives shit over and over and over again. When are we going to stop? Like, I had my fill of it with Goblin. That was in 2015, right? 2016. I've had my fill of that shit way back when, almost 10 years ago. Can we stop? Can we cut it out? Because, like, it's boring. It's not like any of the shows are doing anything new thereafter. They're still recycling the same shit. There's the same dichotomy over and over again. Okay, like, you guys knew each other in the past. There was love. And then there was a fallout. Like, somebody killed the other one. Right? Or somebody like betrayed the other one in some way. There's some regret, there's some pain, and then it's like in the present day, oh my God, I remember, and I'm feeling a little conflicted about it. What if we can't be together? And then they just end up being together. So what the fuck, How many different analogies or metaphors can we, pull out of this standard, this trope now? Now it's a trope. The past life shit is a trope now. And like it's like when are we going to stop it? Right? Like I get the analogy. Like I get the different metaphors. Are there new ones? Cuz I can't think of anything more. For me it's still the same. It's like if in your past, your current this life, in the past something happened, you're ashamed about it. You just got to get over it. Got to get over it and go for the love. Okay, done. Done deal. We get it. Great. But when's it going to stop? And so the show started getting boring for me. Super boring, super slow. Yeah. Not interested. Lost interest. The side characters, their side stories, I've already heard of that shit too. Done. Done again. Who's this writer? The writer of this show is No Ji-seol, and she wrote shows like Dr. Champ back in 2010, SBS, Scent of a Woman, Could We Love My Lovely Girl, 100 Days My Prince. I haven't seen any of these shows. So all it means is, No Ji-seol, you're not my girl. Like, you are not the writer for me, I guess. Because nothing that she's written has ever caught my attention. I tried watching 100 Days My Prince. Is that show any good? It doesn't look good. I tried it. Yeah. So I don't know. This show for me is like very mediocre, if not like, on the lower end, you know? But I mean, it's a waste because Choboa is actually a very good actress. The first time I saw Choboa was actually not in a K-drama. I'm a fan of Choboa because I used to watch her on a show called Back Alley with Baek Jong-won, and it's basically her, Baek Jong-won, and the other newscaster, the dude with the glasses. He used to be on Appa Odiga. He used to be on Dad, Where Are We Going? It's an amazing show. And like it was a reality variety show. And it's basically like it's like Gordon Ramsay used to have a show like that where he goes to restaurants and then he flips the restaurant. Like he observes what's happening, points out all the mistakes that the owner is making, and then flips it. Like he redesigns the whole space, he retrains the owners and the staff, and then they upgrade, right? It's like flipping houses, but flipping restaurants. So it's based on that premise, and Baek Jong-un does the same thing. He goes to these tiny little hole-in-the-wall restaurants and then offers advice. But he doesn't, like, they don't always flip it. It's not exactly like Gordon Ramsay in that, like, Gordon Ramsay comes in and he's like the superhero and he, like, rescues it with his TV production and their big money. Baek Jong-un's Back Alley, it's a lot more, like, hands-on. And he's a lot more, I don't know, like about meritocracy or something. Like he's like, you need to show me that you can, you need to show me that you can actually be an owner of a restaurant. You need to actually show me that you can be a chef. Only then will I help you. It's like very, yeah, like I don't know, show your worth, show your potential. Otherwise, I'm not going to invest in you. It's very conservative money kind of mentality. It's a little Republican-ish, yeah. But it's not fully that way because he's like, I'm co-creating with you. I'm helping you. We're helping each other because you're also on my show. So there is like a balance of some kind, but it's still like shaming, those restaurant owners, right? Like all reality TV functions from the space of shame. Shame becomes the ornament that drives the show forward. And it's the reason why audiences tune in, because it's like, oh, I don't want to make a mistake like that. I don't want to be fucking stupid like that. I don't want to, right? I don't want to be put on the chopping block like that. How do I watch this show, learn everything so that I never make the mistakes that they will make? As if I would ever own a fucking restaurant like these people. No. But shame is the operating ornament in all of these shows. And Choboa was on that show, and she was the female anchor, the female host, co-host, who would soften the presence, right? Because Baek Jong-won is so intense. He's so like Gordon Ramsay-ish, fiery and militant. And then his co-host, the other male anchor, he's softer, but he's still a man. But then a woman comes in and her presence does add like a softening flavor to it. Yeah. But Choboa didn't stay like on the show forever. She was replaced by another actress. And so when I saw that happening, and Choba was the second host, by the way. Like they had a different host on that. Like one of the girls from AOA, like 101, Produce 101. Like they were on that, that hierarchy show. Anyway, it's like one of the girls from that. She was on the first episode, and they fired her, replaced her with Choboa. And the Choboa was on for about a year. And then they fired her and replaced her with another actress. Meanwhile, Picture One and that male co-host, they remained consistent. So when I was watching the show, like the information I was getting, like on a meta level, was women are replaceable. Yeah. Any bitches, we can replace them. Men, however, are not. This is their show. A woman, however, she better bring what we are looking for. Otherwise, we're going to replace her. She's fungible. Ugh. Yeah. I mean, that broke my heart, and I eventually stopped watching the show. It wasn't because of that specifically. It was just like too stressful watching Picture One be a dick all the time. Because I love Picture One. Picture One's my heart. On that show, My Little Television, not season 2, the first season. In the first like 14 episodes, Picture One is in it. He is the best. He is like everybody's favorite. He always won like he won every single episode. Like he would be the highest rated. He would always win championships. It was so entertaining because he was hilarious. And the reason why it was hilarious is because the TV producers made a fool of him. They made him look like the idiot. Yeah, that's why it was hilarious. But on this show, because Picture One is like the daddy, he's the head honcho, like the patriarchy is like harder, denser, that like toxic male chef stuff is coming in. It was awful actually. And I was like, I don't want to think of Picture One this way. He's my lovely, hilarious teddy bear Picture One, and this show is like ruining that image for me. But also the fact that women kept being replaced easily on the show was breaking my heart. And Choboa was amazing on that show. Holy shit, she was amazing. She's a pro. She's a pro actress. She's not like one of these other actresses who will like go out and like she'll sing and model. No, she's like an actress, like committed to the art of acting. And I have a lot of respect for her for that too. But weirdly, Rowoon would kind of outshine her at times. Like when he was acting like all like push and pull with her, like being like, I'm attracted to you, but I don't want to be, but I'm attracted to you. Like those moments, like he was so good, like so hilarious to me. And yeah, unfortunately that it did outshine Choboa a little bit. In any case, I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of done with these kinds of like past lives kind of shows because like it's boring. Can we come up with something new? I am currently watching Castaway Diva. That show is amazing. Oh my god, I didn't think I was gonna love it because the first couple episodes are like whatever, but now I'm like, oh my god, this show is weird and crazy and hilarious and beautiful and complicated, and I love it. Yeah, so if you're watching Castaway Diva, good on you because I will be covering that as soon as the series is over. But for now, yeah, Destined with You, I don't know. It was a very underwhelming experience for me.